Now available in paperback and e-readers, Spellbound, A Darker Shade of Black. Get your copy today at your favorite online bookseller. I was watching an Angela Benedict video this weekend where she was talking about how goth girls are not thoughts. And in this video, she was expressing her frustration with e-girls who post provocative pictures online with a goth look in an effort to get the attention of guys on social media like Instagram. Now, I have been doing my own research on these e-girls for my upcoming book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace. And I can agree with Angela that these e-girls are a real serious problem for women in the subculture because these e-girls breathe brand new life into an old stereotype about women who are a part of the goth subculture. Now, when it comes down to these e-girls who go out here and put on a goth look, I can tell you from doing my own research on the e-girl just does not care anything about the issues that the women in the goth scene have to deal with. No, the e-girl primarily is focused on getting likes and attention for herself because this is all part of her business plan. And this is something I go into detail in my book, Stop Simping in Cyberspace, because I wanted guys to know about the tricks that these e-girls use to try to take advantage of them. Now, these e-girls know that guys are visual, and because some guys are just caught up in their lust at a certain look, they put on that look in order to get their attention. So a lot of the e-girls, they're not even a part of the scene, they're not even goth, but what they will do is dress up in a skimpy black outfit, put on some makeup, and put on an aesthetic in an effort to try to get the attention of thirsty tourists in the hopes of getting them to give her likes on sites like Instagram and eventually, hopefully, get those guys to give her donations to her Cash App and to her Patreon for exclusive pictures. And there are others, e-girls out there, who also go on sites like Twitch and they participate in live streams where they put on that same goth look in order to get the attention of guys online and get them to give her super chat money. And again, this is all a business, and it's all a business rooted in the same business model that strippers use, a business model that goes out here and targets what the strippers call marks in an effort to try to manipulate them into giving the stripper more money. So what they will do is put on a look that they find appealing, go out here and interact with the audience to get them interested, and then get them to go out here and spend their money. For the people putting on these goth looks, it's all a business to them. However, many of these people do not understand the impact that their business is having on many of the young girls in the scene. Now, many of the young girls in the scene and the women in the scene, they are having to deal with the blowback from these e-girls because what these e-girls are doing is going out here and perpetuating a stereotype that women in the goth scene are sexually promiscuous, that your women in the goth scene are into all sorts of sexual deviancy, and your women in the goth scene are people that can be objectified and dehumanized. Because what a lot of these tourists and a lot of these thirsty guys, they go out here and do when they see a woman with a goth look out here, what they do is they don't see her as a person. No, they see her as part of a fantasy in their rose-colored world, and because they see her as part of a fantasy in their rose-colored world, they see her as a sexual object and not a person. That's what happens when you have people like your tourists and your thirsty guys out here. When they see a woman who fits the fantasies that they're having, some of these guys, they start to believe it's okay for them to put their hands on a woman in the scene, and that's just not right at all, because that woman is a person. That person has rights as a citizen, and you have no right to put your hands on a woman just because she's a member of the goth subculture. Now, this kind of behavior is done by people who dehumanize people, and that's one of the most dangerous things about people like your beta males, such as your cyber simps. Now, your cyber simps are a group of beta males who just are, again, in a rose-colored fantasy, and they don't see the realities as related to people. If those people fit the fantasies that they want, they believe it's okay for them to put their hands on those people and abuse them, because they don't see them as people. No, they see them as objects, as related to whatever fetish or fantasy that they're having. And that is the whole danger that the e-girls are presenting as related to women who are a part of the goth scene. These e-girls are out here presenting this fantasy to try to appeal to these kinds of individuals. And when they go out here and appeal to these kind of individuals, it makes them believe that it's okay for them to go out here and participate in whatever fantasies that they're having and be able to do what they want to do to real people. This is something I also went into in depth in my book, The Man Crisis, about how your beta male goes out here and participates in these kind of deviant behaviors in the secret world. And for them, this is perfectly fine because they are not being seen by other people. But they don't understand that your behaviors are affecting real people in the real world, and you're going out here and abusing people based on something you saw online shows that you have a serious problem. And these e-girls, again, they exacerbate this problem as related to real women in the goth scene, because when they go out here and present the stereotype that women in the goth scene are sexually promiscuous and are looking for guys to get with out of nowhere, they go out here and put real women in the goth scene in real danger, and they make it harder for people in the goth scene to be able to go about and just do their business like basic errands. I mean, a woman in the goth scene is just like any other woman as I see it, and that's the way everybody as I see it should see it. I mean, a woman in the goth scene is just another woman. She just has a darker view of the world and she dresses differently, but she is entitled to the same rights and liberties that any other woman is out here, and she has a right to go out here and be able to do her business without having to deal with some sort of predator. Now, when it comes down to these e-girls, again, they don't really care about their actions and the impact they're having on women in the scene. No, for them, again, it is just a business, and they're not understanding the consequences of their actions. They're just wanting to try to get the attention of these thirsty guys on the gram and on places like Twitch in order to make a fast dollar. But their efforts to make a fast dollar are making life a lot harder for women in the scene, because they are promoting these stereotypes, and these stereotypes are the thing that are reinforcing many of these ideas out here that a woman who is a part of the scene does not have the same, is not a human being, is a sexual object. And that's just not what I know from all of the women in the scene I interacted with when I was doing my research for the novels Spinsterella and the books of the Spinsterella trilogy. When I was doing my research for those books, I met a lot of great women in the scene, and I met a lot of women who I would love to be friends with because they were just genuinely kind people. And from what I have seen from many women who are a part of the scene, they are not sexually promiscuous, not at all. No, many women in the scene are married, many women in the scene have families, many women in the scene oftentimes are usually introverts, so they're not looking to go out here and be a part of some person's fetish. No, they are looking to go out here and have a healthy relationship with a man. They're looking to go out here and, as I've seen in many cases, get married and have families. And they're just like any other woman out here. And again, they deserve your respect the same way you would give respect to any other woman. And it's not about they're not about being somebody's fetish. No, this is a person, and a person has a right to be treated with respect. And that's one of the things I see that's a real serious problem as related to these e-girls, is that they are out here trying to, again, get the fast dollars, but not understanding the long-term impact on other women in the scene, because women in the goth subculture are not here to be somebody's fetish. No, they are just expressing themselves, and that's something everybody has a right to do in this United States of America. They have a right to express themselves and have the life, liberty, and the pursuit of their own happiness, and they should be able to do that without having to deal with somebody going out here and promoting stereotypes about them. Now, if you want to learn more about the Black Goth subculture, you can pick up my books in the Spinsterella trilogy, Spellbound, The Legendary Mad Matilda, and Spinsterella, on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to learn more about how to deal with female predators like e-girls, you can pick up my book Stop Simping in Cyberspace on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. And if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe.
Now available for pre-order on Kindle. Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Learn how to avoid predatory females in their virtual con games with Stop Simping in Cyberspace. Pre-order your copy of Stop Simping in Cyberspace on Kindle today.